Stand in front of the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, and your first reaction might be surprise. She's small, just 77 by 53 centimeters, about the size of a magazine. The varnish has darkened over centuries. And honestly, with all those tourists jostling for position with their phones, you might wonder what the fuss is about. But look closer. There's a reason this painting has held the world's attention for 500 years. Leonardo da Vinci started this portrait around 1503, and here's something remarkable. He never finished it. The most famous painting in the world was never completed. Leonardo carried it with him for years, constantly refining, never satisfied. When he died in 1519, it was still in his studio, still technically unfinished. He knew he'd created something revolutionary, even if the world wouldn't fully understand it for centuries. As for the identity of the woman in the portrait, she's likely Lisa Gherardini, wife of a wealthy Florentine merchant named Francesco del Giocondo, which gives us the Italian title La Gioconda. But honestly, her identity matters less than what Leonardo did with it. He took what should have been a pretty straightforward commissioned portrait and transformed it into something universal. He didn't settle for merely painting Lisa. Using his knowledge of human anatomy, and with a lifetime of perfecting his technique, he painted, quite literally, the essence of human complexity. The painting is done on poplar wood, prepared with multiple layers of primer to create a smooth surface. Leonardo spent years developing new approaches to paint application, studying light and shadow with genuine obsession. He dissected corpses to understand facial anatomy. He analysed how light behaves. Every element represents a technical breakthrough. Look at the background. Those winding paths, the mysterious bridge, the otherworldly landscape. None of it is real. It exists only in Leonardo's mind, yet it feels completely convincing. Notice how the distant mountains fade into hazy atmosphere. That's Leonardo understanding how our eyes actually perceive depth and distance. Then there's her pose. Before this, portrait subjects sat rigidly, straight on or in profile. Leonardo positioned her at a 3/4 angle, body turned slightly away, face looking directly at us. It creates an intimacy that didn't exist in portraiture before. She's not performing or posing. She looks like someone we've just encountered mid-thought. But the real innovation is in the brushwork. Leonardo developed what's called sfumato, literally smoke or vapor in Italian. Instead of defining features with clear lines, he blended colours so seamlessly that light and shadow seem to dissolve into each other. Look at the corners of her eyes, her lips, the curve of her cheek. No hard edges anywhere. Everything flows like mist. This required extraordinary patience. He applied layer after layer of nearly transparent glaze, each one barely visible. He'd paint, let it dry completely, then add another. Some areas have dozens of these microscopic layers, building a depth and luminosity that seems to glow from within. The result? Skin that actually looks alive. Most Renaissance portraits seem flat by comparison, painted masks essentially, but her flesh appears to have blood moving beneath it. Her hands rest naturally. Everything contributes to this overwhelming sense of presence. Everyone talks about the eyes, but few people understand why they work. Leonardo painted them with such subtle gradations that they appear to have genuine depth, as if you could see thoughts forming behind them. The pupils seem to shift with the lighting around you as you view the painting. It's unsettling and mesmerizing. But perhaps the most clever choice is in the subtlety of detail. Notice her eyebrows and eyelashes. They're essentially invisible. Leonardo painted them extremely faintly. They've since faded almost completely, which removes the small details that would anchor her to a specific time. Without prominent eyebrows shaped by the 1500s fashion trends, she exists outside any particular era. Same with her clothing. While other wealthy subjects wore elaborate gowns dripping with jewels and embroidery, she wears the simplest possible dress, plain hair covered by a nearly transparent veil. Leonardo stripped away every distraction that might pull focus from her face and expression. This creates something unprecedented, a person who feels both specific and universal, contemporary and timeless. She could be someone you know, but she also carries the weight of centuries. The background operates on the same principle. Those paths don't lead anywhere recognizable. The bridge spans an unknown river. The mountains rise toward an impossible sky. It feels familiar, yet entirely fantastical, like a dream that seems real until you try to pin down the details. Leonardo understood that great art doesn't just capture what exists. It reveals possibilities, potentials, the space between reality and imagination where the most powerful human experiences live. The Mona Lisa inhabits that space completely. Still, the painting remained relatively unknown outside art circles for centuries. What catapulted her to global fame was actually her theft in 1911. An Italian handyman named Vincenzo Perugia walked out of the Louvre with her under his coat, believing she belonged in Italy. The 2-year search made international headlines. When she was recovered, she became a celebrity. But that's just how she became famous. Why she stays famous is different. It's because everything we've discussed, the sfumato, the impossible landscape, the timeless pose, that enigmatic expression, works in concert to create something that transcends the physical object. Leonardo didn't just demonstrate technical mastery, he captured something that speaks to the deepest parts of human consciousness. Stand before her now, and you're not just looking at excellent brushwork or clever composition. You're experiencing the moment when art broke through its own limitations. When paint on wood became something more than the sum of its parts. Every technical choice Leonardo made serves the whole. The sfumato creates that sense of life and presence. The imaginary landscape removes any specific time or place. The simplified clothing and missing eyebrows strip away temporal markers. Her three-quarter pose creates intimacy. The result is a portrait that feels immediate and alive, even after 500 years. People travel thousands of miles to see her because the painting actually delivers on its reputation. Yes, she's been mythologized by theft and fame and popular culture, but standing in front of the original, you understand why. The technical mastery is visible. The sense of presence is real. This is what sets the Mona Lisa apart from other Renaissance masterpieces. Leonardo combined innovation across every aspect of the work. Most artists of the period excelled in one or two areas. Leonardo pushed boundaries in composition, technique, psychology, and atmosphere simultaneously. The painting isn't just well executed, it's a compendium of breakthroughs. So what makes her special? It's not mystery for mystery's sake. It's not hype or theft or tourism. It's that Leonardo took every tool available to a Renaissance painter and used them better than anyone had before. He created something that transcends its historical moment while being utterly rooted in the technical possibilities of his time. The Mona Lisa earned its place in history by being genuinely, demonstrably exceptional. Sometimes the famous thing actually deserves to be famous.